Hello and welcome here to Talking SCB, and welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. And today I'm going to bring a video which, to be honest, I never thought I'd be making. I never expected this story to come up, and it surprised me yesterday when it came out in a few Spanish media sources, and this morning France's leading paper L'Equipe has broken the story that Barcelona are closing in on the signing of Hatem Ben Arfa. Now, what a story this is, and what an incredible story this is, really, because Hatem Ben Arfa has been around the scene of European football now for many, many years. He's had highs, he's had incredible lows, and he is one of those players who's a bit of a maverick. You know, he's got the quality, he's got the skill, you know, he's got the close control, but he's also got that side to him that you're just not sure about. You're not sure about that consistency, you're not sure about his attitude, and you're not sure about that he's able to implement the game in the way that he should do every single season. But this season, he's been truly unstoppable in Liga 1. Now, the first thing to obviously note is this is the French league, so, you know, make of that what you will, whether you think the opponents are good enough, whether you think this is a good enough judgment of a player. But let me just read out his stats in the French league this season. He's made 31 starts, and he's made one appearance as a substitute. He's scored 17 goals and got 5 assists. Now, this guy is not a striker. He's not even a player who plays within the forward line this season. He's been playing as an attacking midfielder. At times, he's played just behind the striker for Nice. But he has had a truly phenomenal season in Liga 1. He's taken Nice, a club that finished in the bottom half of the table last season in France. He's taken them to 5th and within sight of a European place next season. And he's really done incredible, and I think fair play to him. And a lot of people would question his attitude, because when he was in the Premier League with Newcastle United, there was big problems there with him. He put on weight. At one point, he stopped training. He had huge problems with a manager at the time, which was Alan Pardew. He then went to Hull City. They got relegated. He couldn't even get a game for them. And it's incredible how he's changed. But at the same time, his attitude may have been bad then, but it does show the sort of character that he's got and the sort of will that he's got, that he's able to be recapturing his form this season, and he's able to return bigger and certainly better than ever. This is the best Hatem Ben Arfa that we've ever seen. Now, there's a few goals this season which you'll have to go and look at, because there have been some really incredible goals. This is not about tap-ins, this is not about scoring penalties or free kicks. This is about goals which are individual brilliance. And I'm not going to say Lionel Messi-esque, because I hate it when people do that. But these are special goals, you know, dribbling, close control, taking on your man, beating him, slaloming in between defenders. Hatem Ben Arfa really this season has shown he's got every single charismatic available in football. And one goal I want you to look at as well, Newcastle against Bolton Wanderers. This was many years ago now, when he was in the Premier League, when he was really on form. He picks the ball up in his own half, and it's sheer pace, it's sheer quality. He just absolutely destroys Bolton's midfield, their defence. He goes in on goal, and he's got the composure. It's a wonderful goal. If I could show it on here without copyright, I really would, because it was wonderful. But I just want your guys' opinions, really, on Ben Arfa as a whole. Should we be looking to sign him? What do you think his qualities are? Do you think he'd fit into our team? I mean, what are your thoughts on him? Because I think, you know, looking at those stats, 17 goals, 5 assists, you know, you look at his attacking play, and he creates chances. You know, he's not been on the field a massive amount of minutes. He plays key passes. His dribbling is very good. 4.3 dribbles per game in Liga 1 is a lot. And only 2.1 bad touches per game, which is very interesting as well. That shows the control. That shows the confidence. And what he can do, he's given us something a bit different. If he came into our squad, I've no doubt that he would accept his role. I've got no doubt that he would get his head down and work, because you know, when you sign for Barcelona, you've got to get your head down. You've got to adapt to the team. You've got to put the team first. And I think players have to adapt to that when they join, and they understand that. They understand that they need to come in and they need to adapt. So I think Ben Arfa would. I think he would just give us something a bit different. Coming off the bench, you think he could produce something, one moment of magic, which could break down a tough defence. You know, somebody, if they're going to be parking the bus, he could unleash a long-range strike, he could complete a fantastic dribble, he can play wide. It'd be interesting to see what sort of role he would adapt to in our squad, whether it would be a midfield role, or whether he would adapt to playing a more wider position in the front three, possibly. You know, you're looking at possibly a false 9, if we were looking for a replacement for Luis Suarez. And now a lot of people will look at this and they'll say, you know what, either Ben Arfa isn't good enough, you know, maybe they haven't watched him this season, or they'll say he's 29 years old, which I completely understand. I don't really like the fact that we keep buying players that are towards the end of their career. But the difference is this season, Ben Arfa is available on a free transfer. He will not cost a single penny to sign from Nice. Of course, with free transfers, you never actually hear about the signing on fee. That may be, a little bit of money, but certainly we're not going to be paying a huge amount to get Ben Arfa at Barcelona, and it's very, very interesting this morning. I don't usually do videos that just comment on sheer speculation, but it broke in the Spanish media during last night, and like I say, this morning, France's leading paper, L'Equipe, who are usually very, very reliable on all things France football, they have said that he's close to joining Barcelona. A meeting has already taken place between the two clubs. Eric Abidal was present at that meeting. He was possibly working closely, not as a representative, more as a link between the two clubs towards agreeing a deal. It sounds all very, very reliable. It does sound quite likely that this could be happening. We do want a striker, we do want a forward player, we do want somebody who can play in the attacking third and score us goals coming off the bench. Ben Arfa would certainly tick that box. There was a lot of talk of him possibly joining PSG at the end of this season. He's definitely going to leave Nice whatever happens, and he's certainly left them in a better state than he joined them in. But yeah, where he goes is still undecided. But I just want to know your thoughts. You know, this is a guy who took the Premier League by storm when he started for Newcastle. He then went off the boil. He had problems with the manager. And then, of course, he's recaptured his career. He's got a great chance this season of going to the European Championships with France, you know, a home European Championships. He's made 15 appearances in all for the France national team. Started his career at Lyon. Massive, massive potential when he first broke onto the scene. Then he really unleashed that potential when he went to Marseille. Then he went to Newcastle. There was Hull City on loan, like I mentioned. And now Nice. 32 appearances, 17 goals. That's better than a 1-2 record for a player that hasn't even been playing as the out-and-out striker. So I'm really, really interested in this one because I don't really like to get drawn into players who have bad attitude problems or players that aren't really, you know, consistent and things like that. But this is a very, very interesting one because with Hatem Ben Arfa, you've seen over the years that he does have the quality, and you've seen over the years that he can produce when it really matters. And I just think just that case of being able to come off the bench and do something unpredictable, because that's one real problem that I have with us at times, the fact that we can look a little bit predictable in our play. That the players we have, you sort of know what they're going to do. They've not got really a second idea or a plan B, as we often say at Barcelona. So if we brought in Hatem Ben Arfa to that team, he can come off the bench. You don't really know where he's going to play. You don't really know where he's going to pop up, how he could play the game. And I also think as well, his style would certainly suit La Liga. In the Premier League, you saw him start outstandingly for Newcastle. He got out the blocks quickly. He was working really hard. But then you felt like it just caught up with him a bit. He struggled physically to cope with the demands of the Premier League. Of course, it's a lot more physical there. You don't have a winter break. It's very, very constant. The games, they come thick and fast. I think that certainly La Liga, like Liga 1, would suit his style of play. He's a technical player, he likes to have the ball, he likes to dribble with it, and he likes to give and go. Those are all things that he could implement in La Liga. And you just wonder, at the age of 29, and by the way, he's only just turned 29 about a month or so ago, so it's not like he's nearing 30. If we signed him, he'd still be 29. And with a player like this, he doesn't depend so much on blistering pace. It's more about his close control, his first touch, his general flow with the ball, and his dribbling ability. So with somebody like that, they can always drop a bit deeper. It's not all about pace with him, so he could still play into his 30s. And of course, the fact that we're not signing him for much money at all you'd have to pay is his wages, which I don't think he'd demand massive wages. I don't think people do that when they come to Barcelona. He would be grateful with the way his career has gone. If Barcelona came and offered him the opportunity, I've got no doubt that he'd take it, and he wouldn't be demanding massive wages. And at the same time, he wouldn't be demanding a massive signing-on fee when he's signing as a free agent. So this is certainly economically a very interesting deal for us, but how is it going to look on the pitch? That's what I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this rumour? Because when it first came out, I saw a lot of people sort of criticising it, saying he should be nowhere near the club. But when you actually look into his season, when you watch some of these goals, when you watch his overall play, you start to understand the sort of player that we're talking about here. And despite his age, despite his reputation, he is a very good player, and he does have the quality there and that little bit of an unknown feeling. So let me know down below, guys, what your thoughts are. We've seen his stats, we've seen exactly what he's about, and we're going to be very, very interested to see what comes up in the next few days on that news. So Stay tuned on Twitter and FCB Newsroom if you haven't already followed me there. I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well. So if there's any further news, you will hear it right there. I broke the news this morning about L'Équipe. That was such an interesting story. So if you haven't seen that article, go ahead and read that story where they link us very, very heavily with Ben Arfa. We're going to have to see what comes of this in the coming days. Of course, nothing is set in stone. Things can change from time to time. Nothing may come of this. We don't know. So leave your thoughts below, guys. Thanks, as always, for watching this video. It's been much appreciated indeed. Thanks for all your thoughts and all your views. Of course, it's great to have you all here. I'll see you very, very soon. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça!